Welcome to episode 4 of this mini-series entitled Location, 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 where we discuss the stage possibilities of various video game characters if they were to somehow make it into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think 3 episodes is enough of going over the rules, plus I don't really feel like editing them in again. So if you missed out on previous episodes, feel free to go check them out on my channel, as they are in a brand and new shiny playlist. And why not click on that subscribe button while you're there? We're almost close to 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, let's move on to the characters. Since the DLC just came out this week, it only feels appropriate to talk about Urshifu first. Though you could easily replace his entry with Rillaboom or Toxtricity or Zarude or any Gen 8 Pokemon really, since it seems pretty likely we'll be getting one because of the juggernaut that is Pokemon, especially with Sword and Shield being the first home console mainline game. Like many others have said, it is pretty weird we didn't get a Sun and Moon stage with the inclusion of Incineroar. Actually, what's even stranger, every Ultimate newcomer except Inkling and the Belmonts didn't get a new stage. I guess since they were all from franchises already in Smash, they just felt like they didn't need to add any more stages for those series. Anyway, enough with the tangent. If a Gen 8 Pokemon were to be revealed, I could see it going one of two ways, the popular one being the Wild area, since it's a giant chunk of the map in Sword and Shield and one of the new gameplay features of the generation. The only problem with the Wild area being a stage is that it's not very interesting visually. Most of it is just an open grassland with some varying locations like a desert and some lakes, so I guess it would be a traveling stage around those sections. And for decoration, maybe some Dynamaxing Pokemon in the back and some regular Pokemon appearing in the background. Just sounds a little bland to me. It makes sense being a highlight of the game, but I just don't see it working in this context. But now with the first DLC out, how about a stage based on the Isle of Armor, or the Crown Tundra? Especially since the Isle of Armor comes with a Smash-ready looking Pokemon in Urshifu being the star of the DLC story. An Isle of Armor stage could be in front or on top of the dojo that you join in the story, or even in the towers you choose in the story where you evolve Kubfu into Urshifu. This one makes the most sense to me, especially if Urshifu is the fighter. Plus it would be a little more interesting visual-wise than just an open grasslands of the wild area. Once again we reach a franchise I know little about, and this time it's Guilty Gear and its star Soul Badguy. And yes, that is his name. Soul Badguy is the leading main character of the Guilty Gear series since, well, the first one. So if we were to get one from this popular fighting game series, it would be him. Now with many fighting games, characters usually have like a home stage, one that represents them or their story, and Soul is no different. Soul is from a city called Neo, New York, but like I said in past videos, something is just telling me they don't want to use real life locations. Don't ask me why, it's just a feeling I have. So what else do we have then? Well, thankfully a couple of the Guilty Gear games have this generic arena stage, a stage made for fighting that isn't tied to any one character, which works perfectly well in this scenario, pretty similar to Terry's stage of the King of Fighters Stadium already in Smash, a generic fighting game arena. Just call it the Guilty Gear Arena. Yeah, I got nothing else for this section. Guilty Gear fans, if there is a more iconic or repeating stage from the series, correct me in the comments section below. Remember last year when there was like this idea floating around that an Overwatch character was coming to Smash? All this coming from the fact that Overwatch got leaked for the Switch because a Switch carrying case got leaked on Amazon? Fun times. The problem with an Overwatch character though, especially Tracer, is that many of their characters don't have stages directly tied to them. Tracer in particular doesn't. Probably the closest would be that futuristic London stage that we see in one of Tracer's animated shorts. So since there really isn't much tying us down, let's go wild. I selected the Horizon Lunar Colony, one of the stages that came later on in the game's life cycle as free DLC, and is usually associated with the character of Winston and his backstory, but I just feel this is one of the more interesting stages in terms of location. It's a science center on the moon. What more could you want? The stage could be in the center of the base where they are growing their crops and all kinds of science machinery could be in the background or interactable. If not that, since we can't use actual places like Route 66 or Hollywood, we could possibly get away with the London-based stage since in the game it is called King's Row. But if we had to go completely Overwatch original, my best guess would be the moon base. So in a lot of the episodes, including this one, I have mentioned that I have this gut feeling that they would never make stages with names or that look similar to real-life locations, and I still firmly believe that. So that what makes this next character a little tricky, because well, the whole shtick of this character and franchise is that's supposed to take place in our world. So what are we going to do about you, Ezio? Well, a nice skirt around that I came up with this whole real-life location business is just calling the stage Italian Renaissance. Sitting atop some of Italy's buildings on rooftops with maybe a high jump tower to get on some vertical advantage. I see the stage playing along the lines of the roof section of the Mario Sunshine level. Not a whole lot to work with, it is just a backdrop of Italy. It's not like we have dragons in this series that we can have fly in or something like that. We started this episode with one of Nintendo's biggest franchises being Pokemon. Now let's end this on one of its other ones, that being The Legend of Zelda. Fans have been clamoring for a new Legend of Zelda character since we haven't had a new one since Melee. Unless you count the swapping of Young Link for Toon Link, even then that's not a new Legend of Zelda character since Brawl. And with how big it is, you'd think they'd want to cash in on the franchise. Impa is a popular choice among fans, though they seem a little divided if they want Impa to be her own character or an echo of Sheik. In this video though, we will be going the route of a brand new fighter for Impa, since new fighters are the ones that get stages and not echoes. With Hyrule Warriors being the black sheep of the franchise, I feel like Impa would be the perfect representative for not only The Legend of Zelda, but for Hyrule Warriors as well, since her latest incarnation in that game has become a fan favorite. So with a stage coming from that game, would it be nothing other than the Hyrulean Fields, a massive open Greenland field swarmed with enemies where we can watch the Hyrule Warrior version of the Zelda characters wiping out hordes of enemies that you do in the game in the background. The massive attacks that happen in the game could even affect the battle taking place in Smash, with bombs and other highly explosive specials going on. Another 5 characters in the bag, including 2 from 2 of Nintendo's most popular franchises. What did you think? What would you alter or add? What would you change completely? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe to catch more. And until the next episode, see ya!